90% of people can't fathom making 10k a month. Like, they really can't. They think it's something which is absolutely impossible to do. It baffles me, because if you can't actually chew yourself making that amount of money, then you're never going to be able to do it. You just physically can't. Like, you can't do it. You have to have that belief no matter what. You have to always realize that you can do something when you put your mind to it. Don't stop thinking about shit which is 10, 13 steps ahead of you. Just focus on registering your domain. If it's e-commerce you want to get into, then get your fucking goddamn domain. Get some products online, test and learn from that, and just actually jump inside the water, because that's the only way you can really learn to swim, is by jumping inside of the water. His dad, my grandfather, who's no longer here, told him to buy houses, and back then they were super cheap, and he was like, no, I ain't worried about all that. I want to buy cars and jewelry and stuff like that. And to this day obviously he regrets it, because back then they were literally next to nothing. But right. It was just one of those things that he kind of like pushed me into, and forever grateful for it, because you learn so much going through. Because I think you've got one as well, right? If I remember correctly.
I do. Yep. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So you learn so much, and this is something that you don't actually learn in school, and it's a shame. And this is the reason why the school system's broke, because you don't learn the real life skills that you need in the real life. If you actually want to be an entrepreneur and actually want to be financially independent, you don't learn those skills, because naturally they teach you just to be a cog in the system. And this is coming from someone who actually went to university. I do have a degree, and it's like they just teach you to be like another cog in the wheel. Right. And that, you don't learn about that much about taxes. You don't learn about how to leverage credit cards. You don't even learn how to buy a house. You don't know about how the whole mortgage system works. You don't learn any of that, and you have to go through it to be able to get those skills. And this is why it's one of those important things to learn, because then what you can do is you can pass those things down onto your children. Leave them with the assets that you've obviously acquired over the years, and pass this information down onto your children, and help them just become better people. So yeah, that's kind of like how I got into it, which I recommend anyone who's, and I know there's a few of the guys who are doing it as well, and it's always good to acquire the money, park it in physical assets that are just there.
Yeah, that's pretty good advice, honestly. I will say, just because inflation is crazy, and I feel like if you have the money sitting there too, that can be dangerous. It may just push you to spend it on stupid shit. So what are some last pieces of advice that you would give to people? Just anybody watching right now. I'm sure there's all ranges of people watching, but what would be your last piece of advice?
Yeah. So first thing I would say is, I don't want to say the whole cliche like never give up kind of bullshit, because everyone kind of does that kind of like rah rah stuff. But ultimately, you have to. The way I see things is that a lot of people come to me, and they first and foremost overestimate where they need to go. So they'll start asking questions like, how do I do X, Y, and Z? And it's like, okay, cool. If you, what's your website? It's like, oh, no, I haven't got my website yet. It's like, focus on the next step. If the next step is register a goddamn domain, register a goddamn domain. Right? That's what one thing they first need to do. The second thing where most people fail is they don't learn from their mistakes. Okay, so the only way you're going to be able to get better at anything is by learning from your mistakes. And if you can't learn from your mistakes, then you will never be able to make it. Right. So your second thing is making sure that you can learn from your mistakes. Another thing is obviously believing that you can actually achieve stuff, because it's insane to me, because like on TikTok I see some of the comments, and not so much on my stuff but on other people's stuff, and it's like 90% of people, if you're not like on Money Twitter or you're not on YouTube, like 90% of people can't fathom making 10k a month. Like, they really can't. They think it's something which is absolutely impossible to do, and it baffles me, because if you can't actually picture yourself making that amount of money, then you're never going to be able to do it. You just physically can't. Right?
Yeah.
You can't do it. So you have to have that belief, and no matter what, you have to always realize that you can do something when you put your mind to it. And the final thing, obviously, is like I mentioned, just take action. Like, don't stop thinking about shit which is, 10, 13 steps ahead of you. Just focus on registering your domain. If it's e-commerce you want to get into, then get your fucking goddamn domain. Get some products online, test and learn from that, and just actually jump inside the water, because that's the only way you can really learn to swim, is by, jump inside of the water.
Love that. Wow. Well, thanks, man. Honestly, it was so inspiring for me to hear that you're still out there in the trenches, just continuing to grind away at your axe. Your axe being like your e-commerce
We'll
skill.
keep building.
That's amazing, bro. That's super inspiring. It's a great reminder for myself and hopefully others as well, because hopefully there's others out there watching that have probably been in the game for a while too. Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna link all this stuff in the description, but is there anywhere that you want people to go, follow you at or find you?
No, I mean, my hashtag is, well, not hashtag, my username is Beast of Ecom on all platforms. So, YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok,
Nice and easy.
just Beast of Ecom, yeah, and you'll see. I think that's one of the reasons why I actually went for that, because what I like to do, again, being a perfectionist, is making sure that it's available on everything. So I had to make sure that the domain was there, all of the socials were there as well. So
Wow.
so yeah, easy to find me, Beast of Ecom.
Amazing. All right. Thanks a lot, Harry. Appreciate it.
Appreciate it, my dudes.
It's nice
Take care,
talking, man. Peace.